I want to go back just briefly to the equal marriage matter because you also passed the DREAM Act. And now there is an emotional and very strong and so far successful effort to get that on the ballot. Now it's going to be. Is it in fact? Has it been officially ruled on the ballot?
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Yes.
I've been on vacation where I couldn't remember. All right, so it's going to be on the ballot in 2012, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. What is the opposition to equal marriage also is quite strong, and I can envision that should the Maryland General Assembly pass it in this coming session. What is the timetable for the people who might want to go to a statewide referendum to repeal?
I am going to predict that before we even get off the air, there are people here who are already marching forward with a referendum on same-sex marriage if the bill passes in Annapolis.
It will pass, and in my opinion. But let me just first say, with respect to the DREAM Act,
Please do.
I think it's important for people, for your listeners, to understand what the law actually does. So let me just quickly describe what it does. First of all, it does not provide scholarship money to a single student. There won't be a student who will be cut a check to get money, as some people have said. Number two, it requires the students or their guardians to file tax forms for the 3 years prior to going to a community college, and step two is they have to spend 2 years in a community college, and at that point, only then can they apply for in-state tuition rates at the University of Maryland system. Throughout that entire time, they have to file taxes, and then finally...
So you will know that they have been paying into the Maryland coffers.
Correct. And then finally, these students who are, again, let's understand, these are kids who were brought here, they were brought here by their parents. They didn't make the decision to come here. They've graduated from college. If they're men, they have to sign up for the draft, and then finally, when they apply to the University of Maryland system, they can only compete for slots that are reserved for out-of-state students. So they will not be competing for slots against...
any in-state person.
Right, correct. Any in-state person. Okay. That is what the bill does.
So, but going back to the...
800-433-8850 is the number to call. Was that your understanding of the DREAM Act? 800-433-8850.
I just want to be clear about the referendum process.
Sure.
But if you pass the bill in the next legislative session, even if it's at the last day, is there time to get that measure on the ballot?
Well, let me tell you what. Well, let me tell you what the rule is.
I know you don't want it to be on the ballot, but I'm just trying to understand the people who are opposed to it. I can't imagine they'll just sit back.
Well, let me tell you what the rule is. The rule is when a bill passes the second chamber and goes to the governor's desk, the clock begins to tick for collecting signatures. So if the bill is passed in January, it gives a lot of time to get signatures. If the bill is passed in March or April, less time. Will it get the signatures to go on the ballot? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think that there's a good chance that it may not. But there's also a good chance that it would pass, that the voters of Maryland would uphold it.
Right.